Taipei, everyone. I'm in the night market. I'm walking around the city tonight. I have a few things to do. I just came to an amazing temple I want to show you later. The typhoon has been sort of holding off. It's still wet. Like in Asia, everything's wet all the time. But it's not torrential downpours, not heavy winds, so my flight should be fine. Everything should be okay. Anyway, so today I want to talk about a couple of things that I thought about. Last year I was on a motorbike trip in Spain, and I went to see a friend, Miguel, who lived in Logroño in the north. And Miguel is 3 years older than I am. He's 60. He's a grandfather. He's been in the real estate business for ages. And what struck me is that he's working all the time and networking, and doing new projects, and making contacts. I mean, he works like a startup founder of 25. So I say to him, Miguel, you know, isn't it unusual that at 60 you're still working so hard or working so hard? And he said, well, you know, this is my time. This is my time. And I said, well, tell me what that means, Miguel. He said, well, you know, in the past everything worked fine, but I finally feel that things are really gelling for me. And I want to take advantage of it. And it's fun to do all this work. It's not a sacrifice at all. So at 60, that's how he was living. And then last week, 2 weeks ago, I was in Lugano, and I was sitting with my good friend and my accountant, Giuseppe. And I had just had a birthday. He said, oh, tell me again, were you 57? I said, yeah, 57. And he said, sarebbe ora di smettere a sognare, which means it would be time to stop dreaming. And then and I said, well, what do you mean? He's like, well, you know, you're doing all this work also, you have to stop. If you're 57, if it hasn't happened, it's not going to happen. I said, well, you know, Giuseppe, that's true. I believe that completely. But, you know, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm doing new things, and I'm growing, and I'm earning some money, and I'm living, and I'm not really sacrificing. So, you know, I don't know if it's right to be critical or have that kind of observation. It's just a new phase of life. Well, yeah, a new phase of life at 57, isn't that a bit odd? Well, probably is. I'm sure it is. It's odd to change one's life at 57. But, okay, in all fairness, I started changing my life time ago. This new phase, this 2X phase, I started changing when I was 54. But it got me to thinking, you know, does it make sense, or is it a good thing for people aged 50 plus to make changes in their lives? And I mean, obviously, I think it is. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And is it something that I would advise to other people? Well, I think it depends on the person, what he or she wants to achieve. I think that the 2X for me was a philosophy, a way for me to live. I wanted to become twice the person I was, and that seemed to be a good way of qualifying what I wanted to do. And then it morphed into sort of a lifestyle, a way of living for people of a certain age. To say, you know, at this age, I still want to achieve something. I can probably not achieve that many things because I'm a lot older. But what can I achieve? I can still strive to become twice the version of the man or the woman that I was. So that's what the 2X was, and that's how it developed. So what am I trying to say with that? So the question is, you know, is it a good philosophy to follow? That all depends on what a person's objectives are. I mean, I said, look at me, you know, I'm an old fuck. Look at me, I'm an ugly bastard. Nothing magically great is going to happen in my life anymore, as much as I try. But I can still do a lot of good things, and I believe that is a noble objective to to say, I want to grow. I want to make the best out of these years of my life. These next, let's say, 20 years. If I put thought into them, and I have a strategy, then I don't have to just fade out and become, weak and living in the decline of my life. I can probably make these years maybe the best years of my life. But I have to have a strategy to do so. I have to have a way to do that. Or I have to have a structure for that. Not everybody is a champion at 15 or at 25 or at 35 or at 45. A lot of people just don't hit their stride or their peaks, or they just need to have a lot of things gel, like Miguel. Things started to gel for him when he was 60, right? So let's say you're going along through life and you hit 50, and nothing was going great for you at 20, nothing was going great for you at 30, 40, but now you're a little bit older, you're a little bit wiser, you have some experience, and you think, okay, the past didn't really work out that well for me, but now if I do something a little bit differently, if I follow a plan, maybe 50 could be the best time of my life. And I just think that there are a lot of people out there who are looking for that. I mean, I know a lot of people in my life who are looking for that. Things were going pretty well, but nothing really clicked along the way. And now they're older, now they're wiser, and they can make this next stage of life, let's call it 50 to 70, or 45 to 75. You know what I mean? Whatever this age is, it's a middle age, it's an old age, it's a pre-old age, whatever it is. If we have a strategy and a plan and a tactic and the will, then we can make that the best times of our lives. And I think the 2X philosophy is a great way to do it. In that we're not chasing after external goals, we're looking at internal development, internal growth. And the difference between goals and internal growth, that's a fundamental difference. And I'll come back to that. I'll have to make a note to come back and talk about that soon. So, keep in mind, I'm still at the very beginning of this video series. I'm in the awkward stage in which the contents probably sucks. But I'm putting the structure in place, X times a week, be here, film, look at it, say to myself, wow, we could do a lot better than that. Post it anyway, listen to the critique, and that's the stage I'm at now with this 2X philosophy. So I hope this helps. I'd say if it didn't, stay with me. The videos are going to become better. And that's the 2X philosophy from Taiwan. Over.